What's poppin', world? I'm your host, Ty Won, and this is the You're Not Wrong podcast. It's a beautiful day in the city, nice weather, I'm feeling good, living good. Grateful to be here, grateful to have been awakened this morning. A lot of people ain't wake up this morning, so I'm happy that I woke up. Avi, what's going on with you?
Oh my goodness, I'm just so happy. The weather is warmer in Chicago. It feels beautiful outside. It's about to be summertime shy soon. What day is it? It's May 19th. So I'm just happy that, the weather's getting better. We're getting more consistency, and we're both alive, young, black, and healthy. So not much to trip about.
Yeah.
You got any plans this weekend?
Plans this weekend. I got my cousin's wedding. I don't go to weddings that often, so I feel like I'm finally at that age now, though, where I am going to start, going to more weddings. But I haven't been to a wedding in some years.
I don't really like weddings like that.
Yeah, why don't you like weddings?
Well, I was into weddings, but it's not that I have anything against weddings. It's just that, when it comes to weddings, it's like, if I have one, if that day comes, the only reason I'll do the full traditional wedding is because the man I'm marrying wants to have one. In my opinion, I'd rather just do a smooth ceremony, have maybe a party, open bar, have the people I care about there. Because it's I don't want to pay $30,000 for everybody to see me and my husband just get married. We gonna pay $40,000 just to get married. And we could have spent $5,000 and had a cool ceremony or something like that.
People spend way more than that. I feel like 30 is low. People be spending 100.
They do.
150, 200.
But if you got it like that, I ain't mad at you. But at the same time, it's just seeing how the inside of how a wedding operates with all of the preparation, the planning, and the stress people go through. It's kind of you know what? I'd rather just have a ceremony. I'd rather us be at a rooftop or something like that. And I walk down a rooftop aisle at night or something. And yeah, just keep it real simple, but that's just how I am.
Even that could be expensive though. These rooftops ain't cheap, These rooftops
for 2 hours.
Stuff. Yeah, I mean most of the time, black people get married in churches. This particular wedding is not going to be in a church. It's going to be in a ballroom at a hotel.
Those are expensive.
But even at the church, the wedding is free. You just make a donation to the church. It's a thank you for doing it. It's the reception. It's the reception, it's the dress, it's the, excuse me, I got to sneeze.
And another thing about weddings is traditionally, when it comes to a wedding, the man, the husband, he doesn't have to really worry about anything other than picking out his groomsman, his best man, and choosing his suit. Usually, traditionally,
right?
The ring too, yeah.
But when it comes to the ring, maybe people don't they do the ring and the engagement ring and they just add the bands to
yeah.
it
But when it comes to weddings, traditionally, usually it's the father paying for the whole entire wedding as his last gift to the daughter, as his last time being the provider and protector. That's why he's giving her away, and the last thing he provided was everything for the wedding.
Wow.
So that's why usually the husbands, outside of picking out their suits, their best man, the groomsmen, and of course they are the rings and wedding bands. They don't really have to stress about too much on it. Traditionally. Yeah,
I mean they say for the man, for the groom, his dream is just getting the girl. The wedding is the girl's dream. The girls want the big wedding. They want all. That's not really the man's dream. So yeah, but it's interesting.
As long as you ain't gonna end up Cry Together on that Kendrick Lamar album, I think all weddings are gonna be straight. You just gotta make sure you with somebody you love. So
that's funny.
Getting into that album.
Yeah, Kendrick, right?
The two sides of it. Which were your favorite? Which 9 did you prefer? Which was your first? Was it the first 9 Big Steppers? Or the second 9?
I like the first half of the album better, but I mean, there's aspects on both sides that I liked. N95 was hard, and what's interesting about that joint is Kendrick was spotted shooting a video for this song a couple of years ago. People was just it was he was hovering over the beach somewhere. I think in Cali or wherever he was shooting it at, with these wires or whatever hanging him, he's Jesus or somebody. He was spotted shooting that a while ago, a couple of years ago, and to see it finally materialize. He just dropped a video the other day that was dope. Baby Keem was in the video and stuff too. So actually seeing that, I hate when artists like you hear a snippet or you see them shooting a video and then he builds up all this hype and anticipation. You don't know what's coming out of it. You don't know what to expect, and then it finally happens. Especially someone like a Kendrick, like
and it's been 5 years.
Yeah, and it's been 2 years just for that video. It's been 5 years since his last solo album. I mean, he did his thing with the Black Panther soundtrack. It was some joints on there that was
with SZA.
Yeah, especially by that being a soundtrack for a movie. Like usually I don't really get into movie soundtracks. I feel like they're just thrown together. It's just whatever. But I feel like he made that like a real collab album. So I did like that album. But yeah, it's been 5 years since we got a solo album for Kendrick. Like I really was like, I was putting some pressure on him. Like, is Kendrick Lamar just retired at this point? Like I was joking with my homie to stay out in LA. I was like, man, if you don't go, go knock on Kendrick's door and ask him where's the album, man. It's been 5 years. Like, where is this album at? So for finally, to have come out, last week. We've been sitting on it now for a week. It's just good to have some Kendrick music. But yeah, N95 is hard.
And then to think he was at the Super Bowl.
Right, and he didn't perform no new music.
No, nothing new. You wouldn't even think that.
Right, and I'm sure some of this music was done. He could have debuted a song off this,
yes,
but he didn't.
That would have been so fire, but I guess he wanted to build even more anticipation.
Man, I don't know what he was doing, but Father Time is hard.
It is. And I like how he references, when it comes to daddy issues, let's give the girls a break, and let's show how men, how they suffer from father issues too.
Yeah, definitely.
That's such a neglected topic, especially in the black community. Yeah, as a black man, how does that song resonate with you? Hearing.
Well, I don't have daddy issues. I mean, fortunately I've had a father that's been there my entire life. My parents aren't together, but they worked together in raising me, and I had a good life. So I don't have father issues, but I do have homies that don't know their dad, don't know where their dad is, don't really rock with their dad for whatever reason. Father's kind of sometime in and out of their life. I don't relate to that. But I know that it's out there in the black community. But fortunately, that's not my plight.
Sometimes I think with the song Father Time and with the daddy issues in the black community, it's I think I notice a lot of times black men will look to other men to be those father figures for them. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. A lot of black men would look to black leaders well, I know Tariq Nasheed doesn't consider himself necessarily a black leader, but black political figures like Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, Kevin Samuels, all those black men that are basically in the spotlight that are doing whether it be a podcast or a documentary. I know, or better yet, it seems like there's a lot of black men that will listen to rappers and view them as father figures.
Nah,
you don't think so?
I see what you're saying, but I don't agree with that. I don't think you should,
I don't think you should, but it seems like that's something that happens. They will admire and listen to a Jay-Z and view him somewhat as a father figure, or listen to somebody who's making music that they because
Jay-Z, Kevin Samuels, Tariq Nasheed, they're not in your home molding and shaping you.
They're not
teaching you how to be a man, give you the tools on how to be a man, how to
but it's not they're not listening to them trying to understand manhood through these men and trying to understand masculinity through these men, since they don't have somebody present.
I see what you're saying, but I just don't agree with that. Looking at no celebrity is your role model or your hero in that sense on how to live your life.
Kendrick even has a song called Savior, and he says J. Cole ain't your savior. Tupac's not to say, you have to think for yourself.
He said that on the Savior interlude?
Yes.
Okay, I don't remember that. I have to go revisit that one, but I haven't memorized all the lyrics or anything. But...
Not the interlude, the song.
Oh, what album was? Oh yeah, on the song. I see it now. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I've heard people say things like that. You can take advice from people, and Jay-Z does have a lyric. Hov did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. You can kind of listen to other people's experiences and what they went through, and you can kind of avoid certain pitfalls in life. But I don't think you can't look to no celebrity, no athlete, no rapper, no motivational speaker, none of those things for how just to how to be a man or as a father figure. I feel like it could be somebody in your church that you grew up around. It could be, an uncle. It could be an older cousin, but it's got to be somebody in your close proximity that molds and shapes you. It can be like
to find mentorship.
It can even
basically
be a father, like one of your friends' father. They could just take you in. Somebody you went to school with, and you can get taken in with them, or a coach or something. Somebody like that could teach you how to be a man. But yeah, I don't agree with.
That'd be a better route for mentorship and everything.
Yeah,
so.
I don't agree. Don't look to no rappers.
I mean,
no
Kendrick made you think about it, but he is not your savior. Cole made you feel empowered, but he is not your savior. Future said, get a money counter, but he is not your savior. Bron made you give his flowers, but he is not your savior.
Yeah.
So Kendrick said it himself.
So what are your top joints on here?
Ooh, my top joints. I made a couple of notes.
Okay.
Let's see. I like Count Me Out.
Yeah.
I like Crown, because Crown is something that kind of really resonates with me, especially like with the lyrics when he says, favor comes with favors and you can't say no. And then he also says, you say no and everything you've done, people get amnesia. So it's kind of like, it kind of reminds you about how, like, when people assume like, oh, you're privileged, oh, you're favored, oh, you're doing well. So they feel this sense of comfortability with asking you for something, or feel entitled to whether it be your things, your services, your time, having full access to you, just because they feel, oh, you're a person who's favored, oh, you're a person who's privileged, you have everything, so I feel entitled to you. And if you are the type of person who's a giver, like, the more you give and everything, it's almost as if it all of a sudden ends up going unappreciated. Like when he says people get amnesia, you know, when you tell them no, but they forget all of the times you told them yes. You know, so it was like, that song was very resonant, and those were those were a few bars that like really resonated with me, if anything. Yeah, and yeah, Mr. Morale, that was hot. You know, Pharrell produced it. It kind of gave, like you said, a Kanye West type of feel.
Mr. Morale.
Yeah, I think you said it gave off a Yeezus feel, or was it
that
808 and Heartbreak
that was
feel?
Worldwide Steppers, I believe, gave me the Yeezus type vibe. Let me see. Yeah, no, Mr. Morale got that vibe too. Yeah,
definitely does.
Yeah,
it does sound. And Pharrell produced. There is a Kanye song that does sound just like that. Sounds very similar to that. What is it?
Yeah, both of these, Worldwide Steppers and Mr. Morale give Yeezus drums vibes to me. But I'm still listening to you.
Yeah. And let's see, what else was I wanting to get onto? Oh, a song we really should dive deep into is Auntie Diaries.
Okay.
You know, that was definitely, it kind of gave me a Q-tip type of feel, you know. It gave that a really kind of like an old head hip hop type of feel. And I remember you referencing about Jay-Z also having a mother who was part of the LGBTQ plus community, and you know how he basically referenced, especially at the end of it, you know, about how harsh, and how disheartening it can be to be called the F word in the LGBTQ community.
Right.
F-A, and I'm pretty sure you guys know the following letters.
The F word that's used as slander in the gay community.
Yeah. So, and he said at the end, think about how it would be if a white girl called us the N-word. That's just how offensive it would be calling somebody who was in the LGBTQ community, you know, the F word. You know, how many letters is in it? The 6-letter F word.
Right, and it's just crazy. Like now that is a word, and today, I feel like that song alone is probably gonna win some awards. You know, it may put him in that category for a Pulitzer again with this album, because you know,
and it shows allyship. It shows allyship to the LGBTQ community as well. Yeah,
because I mean, hip hop is like, I feel like it's the I'm quoting Kanye on this, but he said before, Kanye said this, hip hop is the opposite of gay. Like, you know, hip hop is based on, a large part of hip hop is money, clothes, and, you know, hoes, in a sense. Like, you know, bragging about how many women you can get, how many women you can nail.
Toxic,
you know, taking somebody else's girl and what you did with them. Like, a lot of that is what's based, you know, hip hop is based on. You know, it's rap. You know, you got your tracks for the ladies. You know, you want to be a sex symbol for the ladies. You rip your shirt off for the girls. You know, the LL Cool J, you know, Drake is a ladies man. You know, different. It's just it's girls are a huge part of, you know, your swag or your braggadocio in hip hop. You know, that's what it's based on, just rapping about how many girls you can get. So like when you not doing that, like that's why I feel like that's why hip hop is not really accepting of that community or that lifestyle, because it's like, whoa, like that's the opposite of what we about over here.
Difference in women so much, it makes it sound like having women is the pinnacle of manhood or something like that in hip hop.
Yeah,
if that's the case.
Yeah.
So what is it? So basically, in hip hop, we degrade women. We love women, so so it's like hip hop has a love-hate relationship with women. We love women, hate the hoes, and use them. But at the same time, we need these both. But at the same time, y'all need these people to feel a sense of masculinity at the same time.
Yeah, I mean
that sounds very backwards.
Yeah.
I don't like you. I don't want you around me. I feel I'm better than you, but I need you to.
Well, I ain't gonna say you.
Like
I feel like I'm not gonna say a man feels. I'm not gonna say a man feels like he's better than a woman. I don't think we competing in that aspect. I think that's kind of crazy.
Because misogyny is the superiority of men over women with misogyny.
Yeah, but I feel like we not in competition with each other. Men and women aren't in competition, but
we have different types of values. I mean, we're equals, but our values can be different.
But I feel like that goes back to like, you know, biblical stuff like that. You got to let a man lead. Like God made. We're not trying to get too much into religion, but God made man, and then he made from a man's rib came the woman. So the man is supposed to be the leader and somewhat superior to the woman. The woman is supposed to support the man, but the woman is not supposed to take on a man's role. Like one, you know, that's just kind of like how it's been since the beginning of the time. I know things
Adam
have changed.
Adam had a wife named Lilith before Eve. If anybody wants to look that up.
Oh, a wife named who?
Lilith. Just research her a little bit. Just research.
Okay, I ain't heard that one. So.
Yeah, and in ancient Kemet, before it was called ancient Egypt, they also had a religion they also had a religion that came from a man, a woman, and a son. Heru is the son. He also, similar to Jesus, had 12 disciples. He also was born of Immaculate Conception. He also was deemed to be a savior 500 years before Christ. Buddha. His name was Siddhartha Gautama. He also was born of Immaculate Conception and deemed to be a savior for man. So there's a lot of biblical, well, not just biblical, but there's a lot of different religions and spiritual practices that have that same common root. However, with Judeo-Christianity having Yahweh or Ahai, as many Hebrew Israelites would call him, as the sole male with no female, with no feminine counterpart. The other African religions, for example, or Asian religions, they would always have a masculine and feminine counterpart.
Counterpart as in, like, you saying on the same level of importance as them?
Yes, they would both be powerful, but in different ways. Like
I feel like that's how
and she was equally powerful as he was.
I feel like it's like
and
that
they had
now.
Heru.
Like men, we don't have the power to bear children. Like, I mean, unfortunately, like, oh, women always want to compare everything to childbirth, but like a man, I'm not gonna say we don't necessarily have the desire to bear children, because as a man you can get to the point like, man, I want to have kids, but it's not on the same level as a woman. Like women, like they want to be pregnant, they want to conceive a baby, they want to be a mother. That's that burning desire and that spirit in you. Like the women want to be a mother. It's not like that being a man. Like I can decide at 25, 35, 45, 55 if I want to be a father. I can produce that long.
Yeah, I mean women, we have more so a lot of people would call it biological clock, but at the same time there's been women that's been having children. Like Janet Jackson, for example, had her first baby at 40, I believe. No, 50, I believe, right. Actually. So the thing is
I'm putting my mom's age out there, but my mom didn't have me till 32. So
my mom had me at 36.
So that's I don't agree with that whole clock.
The thing is that there are women that don't want to have kids, and there are women that do want to have kids. It's interesting that we just referenced this because a law in Texas passed where they are no longer selling Plan Bs, and also abortion is now
pull out.
And also now they also cannot have abortions in Texas anymore. Okay. Like there's a law for no abortions. It's almost as if they want more women to have children, but by the looks of it, women not having children, because there's studies that show that single women with no children are some of the happiest women. So by the looks of it, it seems like they want us to have more children, not necessarily to disrupt happiness, but to have more people in the workforce.
Okay, so how does this tie into Auntie Diary? So you giving some great information, not to cut you off, but I feel like we kind of getting off topic.
Okay, we did get a little off topic because we went from LGBTQ to spirituality to men and women's rights. But Auntie Diaries, like we were getting into saying before, it was definitely a song that, like you said, would probably win him a lot of awards that showed allyship for the LGBTQ community, and also put a lot into perspective, especially with the end point with, you know, how we feel if somebody that was white was to call us the N-word. Yeah.
I will say that my favorite song off the entire album, both sides, is We Cried Together. I even like the way this song comes on. Like, even like the beginning of this part of the song, this part, like this. I almost wish like they played this part more, like they was rapping over this part of the beat. Like they added some more drums and stuff, and this the way this sample comes on, like I think this sounds really dope. This is like one of my favorite parts of the song. But I feel like that should win, like probably win best. They're probably gonna win like best rap performance, or you know, like I don't know if I don't think they have a category like best storytelling rap. But this song is up there. Like this is up there with like a Slick Rick children's story, or like when Slick Rick like read the bedtime children's story or whatever, or like Eminem Stan. Like this is that type of rap. Like this is super creative. I feel like if you've been in any form of toxic relationships with women as a man, you would definitely relate to that song. I was hearing this, I was like, man, this was making me think about my ex in so many different ways. I was
kind
like,
of
wow,
makes
this
you think of
speaking to
This
my
Ain't
soul.
Free when he was going back and forth with that girl on This Ain't Free.
Yeah, but I didn't listen to that too much because I didn't like To Pimp a Butterfly. I don't like that album, so
I think that album was gold. That album was a work of art, along with this.
I didn't like it sonically. I didn't. This is a dope album. But yeah, I didn't like To Pimp a Butterfly.
And Taylor Page. Shout out to Taylor Page. She went from Hit the Floor all the way to being on a Kendrick Lamar album.
Right, you were telling me about that. Like maybe give people some background.
All right, Taylor
on her, I wasn't
Page
familiar with her.
is a dancer. She started out dancing with as a Lakers girl back in I want to say maybe 2012, 2011. She later was on the show Hit the Floor that was on VH1 from 2013 to I believe 2016. As the leading lady. She was one of the dancers for the dance teams. She was a beautiful woman. And later on, she was dating Jesse Williams, I believe. Yeah, Jesse Williams. And now, currently, she's I'm not sure what all she's up to, but by the looks of it, she seems to be up to a lot of things that might be some great projects in the future. But hearing her on Kendrick Lamar's album was very refreshing. She is a very intelligent woman, beautiful actress, great talent, phenomenal dancer. So shout out to Taylor Page.
Yeah, I have seen her before. I've seen her in some stuff. I looked her up, and you said she's a beautiful woman. I need to see. She is. She's a nice looking lady, and I have seen her before. I've seen her face. Yeah.
Yeah, we love you, Taylor.
Yeah, she I think this is her debut rap like performance, but
I think so too.
She brought that. I probably because she's a good actress and stuff. I would imagine she's taking acting classes, and she knows how to really express herself. Like it really comes across.
She's really intelligent and aware. Very intelligent.
It really comes across in her performance on this track. Like I can hear the emotion and like you love a pity party and I ain't trying to show up. Like you know, like she's really putting that feeling in there. Like this song is. This We Cry Together is A1. Purple Hearts is dope too.
Summer Walker was dope in Purple Hearts.
Yeah.
And it was a good song, but it wasn't my favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I like the yeah baby. I like that.
But I did love me some Summer Walker on that. She kind of gave me a little bit of a Leah energy.
Ghostface came through with a solid verse too.
And it was smooth. It wasn't like my favorite song on the album. I wasn't too excited about it, but at the same time, it's real smooth.
So top 3 joints on the album.
Top three. Ooh, I would probably say, I'm gonna say Silent Hill. I'm gonna say Crown, and Count Me Out.
Okay, I'm with you on the Count Me Out. That joint is hard, but I like. I'm gonna say We Cry Together is the #1 best song on the entire album, both sides. N95, and maybe it's between either Father Time or Rich Spirit. I like Rich Spirit too. I like this beat, like Rich Spirit. Father Time, We Cry Together, like, and I feel like those beats are hard. There's some hard beats on here. Like the production on this is solid. The thing that I really like critique Kendrick on the most is his engineering. It's almost like Like, I've been listening to this album. I probably listened to it maybe like 15 times since it dropped. Like, all the way through, I've been listening, even at work when I'm driving. I've been listening to it. And it's like you gotta, the way his beats and stuff are, they're like really loud, got a lot of intricate production. It's like almost like you have to like really force your ears to really listen in to really get some of the lyrics. Like,
so it sounds like there's a conflict.
Yeah, like I like the vocal to sit on top of the mix. I don't like the vocal
that does sound smoother.
I don't like when the vocal is in there mixed in with all the instruments and stuff. I like the vocal to not be distorted. That's the biggest thing. Like when I'm working on my tracks, so I'm dealing with engineers and stuff. Why I'm so picky. A lot of people, they mix in the vocal and make it sit in there with the beat. I don't like that. I like it to sit on top.
Yeah, I get that.
In the mix. So that's the thing with Kendrick's engineering. I know everybody got their own style with everything. I believe Ali is his engineer. Like he be shouting about like, "What's up, Ali?" or whatever. That's his engineer, but like that's the critique I had. Like you have to like really listen, and like certain the way the speakers and stuff are, like it's the way he flows, like the whole like that like low flow or whatever, like really listening to that, like you gotta really, it's like it's really hard sometimes to really grasp everything that he's saying. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to look up the lyrics and all that. Like, bro, just make it clearer so I can like really hear everything, so I ain't gotta do all that, But overall, what did you think of the album?
I'll give it 10 out of 10. I love that album.
Damn. 10 out of 10. I believe Pitchfork. Was it Pitchfork that
was it Pitchfork or Billboard?
Let me look that up. I believe
you texted to me.
Yeah, look it up through the text. I believe it was Pitchfork gave maybe like a
7.6 out of 10.
Right, and that was his lowest rated album by them. Like they pretty much give him like top notch scores. I will say that Metacritic gave him 100 out of 100. And Metacritic is tough. Like, I mean, it's been some great albums that Metacritic. I believe they gave Drake Take Care like a 69. Like, Metacritic is like the main metric. It's like the Billboard for album reviews. Like, Metacritic is like, that's the main thing that scores your album. And they gave him 100 out of 100.
And you're right, it was Pitchfork that was gave him that 7.6. Yeah.
That's not bad. A 7.6 out of 10 is not bad. That's a solid album.
But we gotta think, who are the people that's reevaluating and listening? I mean, evaluating and listening. Right. I think to really understand a lot of Kendrick's music, especially with an album like this, or even Pimp a Butterfly, all of his music, you have to have an understanding of the Black culture.
Right.
Even with his video, The Heart, you see him morph his face into multiple people within Black culture. To have him morph into OJ, someone who didn't really understand that even if you try to separate yourself from Blackness, you're Black in America. There's no running from Blackness in America. If that's what you are, that's what you are. And he referenced that with Will Smith about hurting people.
Right.
He put himself into Jussie Smollett, or as some people
and
like to call him,
Juicy Smollett. And that didn't make the album. That was kind of interesting. That was like a promo single. The Heart Probably Fire was just like a one-off Lucy promo.
Because who all did he do? He did OJ, Will Smith, OJ Simpson, Will Smith,
Jussie Smollett,
Nipsey Hussle, Kobe Bryant, and Kanye West.
Right, Kanye. It was somebody else that he was going to do too, but they had to cut it.
And the last two he did was Kobe Bryant and Nipsey, two people who recently, well, I won't say recently transitioned, but Kobe Bryant made his transition with his daughter in 2020, January 2020, and Nipsey Hussle passed in March 2019, and he did them at the end, just listening to how he went through people who someone who disowned their Blackness, to someone who was in a lot of pain and hurt, to someone who was going into it with the media, going through a lot of trials and tribulations, to two Black men who later on passed away. I thought it was interesting how he had that type of order set up.
And I think too, that kind of I think Kobe's passing and Nip's passing is something that
was
Kendrick
heartbreaking.
Was dealing with. Not even just that, even just because Kendrick being an LA native, he was born and raised in LA. Those are two people that Nipsey is the person he's collaborated with, had a rapport with, a relationship with, just being both rappers from LA. Kobe is somebody that I would imagine Kendrick grew up idolizing and going to Lakers games, and probably seeing him out and about in LA and looking up to him, was like a hero to him. So I would imagine those things took a toll on him, and it's probably played a little bit of a part of why he hasn't dropped an album in so many years. Like he might have been getting ready to gear up to drop some new music, and then Nip passed. He's done with that, being in LA, and You know, Kendrick has a little bit of gang affiliation and stuff, so they dealing with that. But the Crips and Bloods came together on that. And then when Kobe passed, he probably just needed to take some time to like process those deaths and different things that he was dealing with. I think he may have gotten married. I'm not sure. I tried to look it up. I don't know if he's just engaged to this girl that he's been with, that he has his 2 kids, but he might be married and just it may not necessarily be public.
Because he's been with her for years.
Right, he's been with her for a long time. Like J. Cole, I know is married, and an interviewer called him out on it. J. Cole didn't publicly say he was married, but then the interviewer asked him about it. And he's like, "Yo, man, that was the one thing not to ask." But he was like, "Well, they don't know." He's like, "Well, they know now." But I mean, Kendrick, I feel like ain't really had that moment yet, but he probably is married, you know. So
yeah. So let me ask you this. You know, a lot of times people are always talking about when is Kendrick and J. Cole doing a collab album. Do you ever see that happening? Or,
I don't ever see that happening.
And who would you like to see Kendrick collaborating with if you could choose maybe 2 or 3 rappers?
I mean, I think J. Cole, like, I'm kind of weird with collab albums. Like, I don't want no Drake and Kendrick collab album.
That sounds like that would be weird. They don't seem like they fit like that. I don't want no Kendrick
and Big Sean collab album. Like, I don't want... You know, I think Kendrick and J. Cole, like, I would like to see a Kendrick and J. Cole versus in
that would be
years.
Really good.
Yeah, I think both of them are incredible, you know, really good, powerful, energetic, live performing voices in hip hop. You know, they got that heart and that feeling and that soul in their music. I think, like, they even talked about doing, I think Boss from Dreamville has said, like, you know, in some years he would like it to be a Black Hippie versus Dreamville. Like, so that would be Kendrick.
I would love to hear like Kendrick and Andre 3000 maybe do some collabs. Kendrick, Kendrick Lamar and Andre 3000 would be good. I don't think so, but I think Kendrick Lamar and Q-Tip, they do have a song, and I think they would do very well with a collab.
Kendrick and Q-Tip, okay.
Yeah, or even if Q-Tip like had it as a Tribe Called Quest or something like that to go with Kendrick Lamar, I think it would be cool. If Nipsey was still alive, it would be nice to hear Kendrick and Nip make something. Did they already make anything?
He's on Dedication on Nipsey's album.
Yeah.
Victory Life. He's on that song Dedication. I think that's the only joint they got together though. So is this album better than Damn, or to you? Is it better than Damn, or is it equally as good, or is Damn better?
I take this album over Damn. I would say this album and Pimp a Butterfly are on equal playing footing.
Okay. I probably like this better than Damn too. And Damn was solid though, but this
it was solid.
I think he pushed. I mean, that's debatable. I have to go back and listen to Damn. Damn's got more commercial songs, I feel like, but this musically, this song like really is. This album really stretched itself musically and got into some things. There's some joints on here, Kendrick pretty much delivered solid albums. The only album I really don't like by him and that I really thought was like. I mean, I might get canceled for this. I ain't gonna get canceled. I call it trash. What's the Pimp a Butterfly? I just hate that.
Oh my
album.
Goodness!
I don't like that album at all.
See, that's because you didn't understand it. You gotta listen to it. You gotta be able to mentally grasp everything he's saying.
I don't like the flows. I don't like the beats. I don't like nothing about that album. Black and the Berry was the only song on that album I like. But this is solid. Like I said, the Black Panther soundtrack was solid. I'm satisfied with this album. You know, I haven't seen Kendrick live in a while. I've seen him one time. I seen him with Wiz, but he was one of the
Wiz Khalifa or Wiz Kid?
Wiz Khalifa. This was like maybe back in like 2012.
That was a while. That was 10 years ago.
Maybe like 2012, 2013. They were at the amphitheater in Tinley, and then the first time I ever heard of Kendrick Lamar, like I had never heard a song, never seen him, never nothing. First time I ever heard of him and A$AP Rocky was on the Club Paradise tour with Drake. It was I saw Drake down at U of I in Urbana-Champaign. He had a concert at Assembly Hall. Take Care had just leaked. So he did the singles that was on Take Care, and he played All I Thank Me Later and like So Far Gone and stuff. And he's like, Take Care is dropping this week, whatever. And Kendrick and A$AP Rocky were the openers. So that was the first time I had ever heard of him. So it's like this whole, this whole Drake versus Kendrick and everything is kind of stupid to me because they're in 2 totally different lanes, got 2 totally different styles. And me personally, I never even heard of Kendrick Lamar before Drake. Drake introduced Kendrick into the mainstream, in my opinion. He put him on Bury Me Alive, interlude on Take Care, and he brought him on a national tour. So
yeah, I heard of Kendrick Lamar when I was in college. I remember it was 2012. And I heard the song Metamorphosis playing a lot.
Yeah, I was
and then also that song Poetic Justice, like everybody played that song.
Yeah,
and everywhere I went out.
Who's on that joint?
It had a sample.
No, I'm saying who's on Poetic Justice?
Of Janet Jackson.
Who's on Poetic Justice though? Who's on it?
Kendrick Lamar.
No, Drake. Drake is
okay.
on it too.
Okay, Drake's on it. Yes, we'll admit Drake's on it. But it was a Janet Jackson sample.
Okay.
Okay. And by the looks of it, we've
talked about this a lot. So,
it's 34 minutes, so
yeah,
we can always use
Kendrick Lamar album review.
Yeah.
You know, well, You're Not Wrong podcast.
Avi J. Follow me on Instagram _AVIJ_.
Follow me on Instagram at Ty Won Official. That's TYWON Official. Holla. See, that was good. The little fake little argument. Yeah.